She never thought a quiet evening could change so much. It was just another ordinary night, a cup of tea, a blanket, her favorite book. Life had finally found a calm rhythm after years of ups and downs. She didn't expect anything different, not that night. And then, the doorbell rang. At first, she ignored it, thinking it might be a mistake. But the second ring made her heart skip a beat. There was something familiar about it, something she couldn't explain. When she finally opened the door, her breath caught in her throat. It was him, the person she once loved more than anything, the one she thought she'd never see again. For a moment, neither of them said a word. It was strange how someone could feel so close, and yet so distant at the same time. He gave a small, nervous smile, the kind that used to melt her heart. "Hi," he said softly. All she could manage was a quiet, "hi." They stood there for a while, caught between the past and the present. Then, almost without thinking, she let him in. The conversation started slow, small talk, safe topics, but as minutes passed, the old memories came flooding back. The laughter, the fights, the long nights of talking about everything and nothing. It all felt so close again. He told her he had been thinking about her, that he realized some things never really fade. She wanted to believe him, a part of her did, but another part remembered the pain, the promises that were never kept. As they talked, she watched him carefully. He was older now, calmer maybe, but still the same in all the ways that mattered, and she realized something. Time doesn't erase love. It just changes the way we carry it. When the night grew late, they both knew this wasn't a new beginning. It was just a moment, one last conversation they both needed. Before he left, he smiled and said, "I'm glad I saw you again." She smiled back, though her heart ached a little. "Me too." After he was gone, the house felt quiet again, but not in the same way. This time, it was a peaceful kind of quiet. She stood by the window, watching the rain, realizing that some people come back not to stay, but to remind us how far we've come. And in that moment, she felt free. Days passed, but that night kept replaying in her mind. Every word, every silence, every glance at the door after he left. She told herself it was just closure, nothing more. But deep down, she knew it wasn't that simple. Life went on as usual. Work, routines, quiet evenings. Yet, every now and then, she'd catch herself wondering what he was doing. Did he still think about her too? Did that night mean anything to him? Or was it just a moment lost in time? Weeks later, she saw him again, completely by accident. It was a Sunday morning at a small cafe she often visited. He was sitting near the window, scrolling through his phone, looking almost the same, except maybe a little more at peace. When their eyes met, they both froze. It was awkward at first, but somehow, it also felt right. He stood up, smiled, and asked if she wanted to sit with him. She hesitated for a second, then nodded. This time, the conversation was easier. No heavy emotions, no unspoken pain. They talked about random things, work, travel, how life had changed. It felt normal, almost comforting. There was still something between them, but it wasn't the same as before. It was softer, quieter, more mature. He told her how hard it was for him to move on after everything. That seeing her again reminded him of who he used to be, and how much he'd grown since then. She listened, not sure how to respond. A part of her still cared deeply, but another part had learned to let go. Before they left, he looked at her and said, "You know, maybe we weren't meant to last forever, but I'm glad we happened." That line stayed with her long after he walked away. For the first time, she didn't feel the urge to fix the past or wonder about what could have been. She just felt grateful for the love they shared, the lessons they learned, and the strength that came after the heartbreak. Sometimes, people come back into your life not to stay, but to show you that healing is real, that it's possible to look at someone who once broke your heart and feel nothing but peace. As she walked home that day, the world felt lighter. Maybe love doesn't always mean forever. Maybe, sometimes, it's just about finding closure. And finally being okay with how things turned out.